All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Craftverse series, episode 376. And today we're finishing out this section of the area. I have a lot of grass and dirt to place, a lot of pathing to do, and a lot more to remove in order to actually make the next step. So let's go ahead and start. You might notice my shovel is not near breaking point anymore because I went ahead and fixed it in between episodes. Okay. Now let's stretch this over, convert you into path all the way straight back. Pretty much everything up to this point here is definitely going to be path block. It doesn't start curving for quite some time. Then we have to remove all of the blocks directly to the right and left of it. So that is where the actual road blocks come in. Okay, and then everything from here over just needs to be converted into grass. And I could start utilizing some of this to finish the wall up to the point. That is how low that wall actually needs to go. Gonna have to get some actual grass. That's not grass, that's grass. Poke it into some of these holes here. Like planting a seed every so often just to make the roots spread out. The more you can make the grass spread to where it needs to go, the faster it will do so. Right, now the rest of this is just going to be dirt, and we have to hope that that's enough to connect it all. So much nicer to not have to be staring at deep slate the entire time. Alright, now we fill this area in up to that point. Hopefully this will all turn into grass before the end of the episode. At least a good portion of it should. still got to fill in that section over there. That'll help it a little faster because of the grass spreading downwards. Increase the potential for new grass growth. All right, now let's go verify that everything is identical between these two sides. We have 3 out, and then there's 2 lanes here. 3 out and 2 lanes there, and then this is supposed to wrap fully around that spot. Yeah, it looks like we're golden. Now I just gotta wait for the grass to grow over here. Fill in a couple more spots in this side. Unless it's connected, it's going to be a little bit slow just because there's no grass or dirt underneath it for the grass to spread downwards to, so it's all spreading horizontally. All right, now let's go ahead and craft up some stone brick, because these all need to be replaced. Up to here is fine. Spread this down. Probably crafted up way more than I needed. Oh no, it's going to be pretty on par. I'm going to dip into the second stack here in a second. Yeah. Now we have our wall at least up to this point. We have everything over here grassified. I can start the process of extending out the road. And then over here, how did I do this? Okay, so it's the one and then it just starts dipping down. I'm gonna have this also mirror. So we do that. Actually crouch. Wipe down this to the level that I want it to be at. We're just going to leave this here for now. Going to extend this like so. Let's double check how this looks because I'm not 100% certain that that is how it looks. Okay, so we have the 3, and then this one actually has the additional one out. But that's fine because whatever I extend out here, I'm going to be doing with moss after the fact. So that's actually got to be out like that. double check. Yep, first one down, second one, and then after that it goes to just the ones and not the whole additional spot. Got it. Get up. So this is correct. All right. Boop. And shovel. Hope you're enjoying your jungle gym over there, Mr. Cow, because that's going to be removed soon. Yes, don't complain. Go one more down. Oh, lag. My connection is not quite as stable as I would like it to be. All of the pesky stone out of the way, and then I can just shovel the rest. You. Yes. Wow, that gave them more sass. At least they're just cows and not bulls. Because if they gave them attitude and you started getting tackled by the cows, that would jar anybody. Okay, the main island is Horse Island. This is apparently Cow Land. The hell? Okay, so we've got this, and then there's this area here which dips down to 2 layers of moss and then an additional one. And that's going to bring this down to 65. Just 1, 2, and 3. And all of this will extend outward. All right, where did those torches go? Yeah, have been picking them up. But right now, I'm just going to put this along the rim. And then bring some of them along here. We'll grab this. Put you there. Okay. So now I need to get all of this ripped out. Oh, this is going to be a big job. this is gonna be a real big job. Can at least get it ripped out to where it needs to go. Maybe I can expand the wall one little layer at a time. Okay, so you come down. I'm going to drag you down across. I want this to be a mirror image of the opposing side. Clicked it just a little too fast and it didn't take. That's fine. Let me know in the comment section below if y'all have any ideas on what I should do, if anything, with that cherry biome. Because it's going to be a while yet before I actually do anything with it. But it'd be interesting to see what y'all come up with. I built plenty of houses with the pink wood. Stretch this down, so at least the wall's visible all the way to where it needs to be. Okay, so that's currently where we sit, at 74. And I needed to go 4 additionals down. Then I can just remove all the other junk. Well, who told you to stand there? Yes, just go right back to the same position where you got hit the last time. That's totally going to be safe. There's a reason pigs are not at the top of the food chain. Despite the fact that pigs in real life don't get electrocuted and turned into gold hoarding critters. They will eat literally anything. I think hoglins are the closest thing to real world wild boars. It's like you get in their way and you're just food. They do not discriminate, they do not care. It's like I actually once nearly got attacked by one because we used to live in Florida. And where we were, there were actually some wild hogs that lived in the groves nearby. Our mailbox was a considerable walk away from the house. So when we had to go there, there was a chance that we'd run into some wildlife. And on one particular day, I was walking past the grove, and apparently I had startled a 400-pound hog. I know he was a biggin because you can usually tell by the sound they make and how hefty their stomp is. But I'm just, quietly walking my way back from the mailbox. Didn't really receive anything that day, I don't think. And from the grove, I just hear a loud snort. I stop mid-stride, turn my head, and I see it lifting its snout out of the ground to stare right at me. And then I see it lift its hoof, and I'm like, yep, nope, bye. It was literally like watching someone run from like the Looney Tunes or something. You know how they'll run across water if they get scared of a shark? That's pretty much what I was doing across sand, to the point that my boots were actually smoldering by the time I got to the house. I have no idea if it followed me all the way back to the house. I just know that I heard hoof steps after a certain point. It's probably like, go ahead, run. I'll give you a head start. Because I don't imagine that I outran 400 pounds of straight muscle. I was only a junior in high school at that point. I was not outrunning a 400-pound hog. It's not happening. For context, my graduation final for senior year's PE courses was to run a mile. Run would be an overstatement. I did about 13 minutes. Because I was not informed prior to that day that we were going to be doing a track final. So my dumbass decided I'm going to wear jeans and a black polo. Mind you, this is Florida, right before the height of summer. I wasn't prepared, to say the least. And you can now see why I used to have migraines every day. That and the fact that I was wearing my fleece hoodie because our teachers like to keep things at like 60 degrees in their classrooms when outside was easily flip that 6 degrees. So you'd get nice and hot when you were walking for the 5-minute break between courses and then freeze your tail off in the classroom itself. So you kind of didn't have a choice. Wear your stuff or freeze to death. And it was well known that our school was not the best at keeping track of your stuff in the lockers, especially because PE students in the previous years remembered the codes to their locker combination. And they would go back in occasionally while everyone was out on the field or out in the gym and test which locks they could open with their old combination, and whatever was in there was just fair game at that point. And with all the teachers in the gym or on the field, they weren't monitoring the locker room. I don't even think the cameras worked in there, to be totally honest with you. Not that you would want cameras to be working in a locker room. But that's also why most of us just wore our heavy coats out on the field and we didn't care. That also didn't help us pass track final. There was a lot less theft from what I could gather going from the women's side. So most of the girls were wearing appropriate track attire, where us guys were like blue jeans. Whatever we wore to school that day, we just wore out to the field, and thus they didn't really care if their stuff got stolen because they had crap quality stuff. Which, to be fair, a lot of kids didn't have the best quality stuff. So if you were okay with it, then yeah, by all means. But most of us just wore our stuff to the track. Believe it or not, I did not have the lowest time. Or the longest time, rather. There were people that just didn't even bother trying and got like 30 minutes, 25 minutes. So I didn't feel too bad about my 13. I was actually in the passing grade of that whole arc. So it wasn't too bad. Okay, and that is as low as this needs to go. Everything else from here just needs to be removed, and I can do that off camera. You guys have seen me do enough mining for the time being. I do, however, want to get this area up here down to where it needs to be. So we're going to... Can't reach that yet. That's got to get broken out, and then we're just going to do this for now. This is going to be the inside bit. You break that out, that becomes a stair. And I got to break all of these individual ones out. Okay. That way I know where the lights have to go. I like putting a light underneath my central stair. That was a scream. Okay, so this is roughly where it stops. So actually, I need to put 3 lights right there. So let me go grab those lights. Where would I have some readily available? Probably in here. Nice. I can deposit some of this junk that I don't need. See my sorting setup here. And then actual grass, because there's going to be a lot of it, and actual dirt. And then I just put the stone bricks in here. And I want to grab these out. I don't want to grab those yet. That's not enough of those. There we go. Now, stairs. That should be enough. Let's go out and place the stairwell. you there, all the way down. And then the very bottom tier, we actually have that. All right, so that tells me where I need to put other bricks. All right, so let's go from here. Ah! Ew! Okay, this is fine. Because we go 2 up from this to that, and then we put stairs of this brick on top of there. It really doesn't particularly matter what you fill in the understair area with, as long as there is a light block in the middle. Yep. And now I gotta go get some stairs. Yeah, I don't have stairs. Okay. Fastest way to find one is going back here again. That'll do. Alright, so the stairwell itself is in. Now I just have to mine out everything that goes around it. And then next week we'll go ahead and add in the fountains and the road and all of that. I'm just going to tear this out for the moment. You guys have seen me do enough of that. You don't have to watch me carve out the rest of this little segment here. The important stuff has been done. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out.